everybody, Jillian here to share with you my December daily pages week 1 through 9. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in. The first couple pages I think that you've seen in my foundation pages already, but I went ahead and committed to the 20 and the 16 numbers. I painted them white. They're originally gold from the Emily Lay kit, and then just gold embossed them with one of the star stamps from the Allie Edwards star stamp. I'm kind of obsessed with embossing this year, which is odd because it's so messy, but I found myself doing so much of it. So pretty much the same as my foundation pages here. I've swapped out a couple things like this tree transparency I cut down to a 2x2 that's from the Beautiful Mess Messy box. And so I think that's really the only addition to this album since I was last on here sharing it with you. So I'm using the Garrison mini kit, the Paislee Press mini kit, though I haven't used much of it yet, and then the messy box from last December from A Beautiful Mess. So here is day one, just kind of easing into the stories here. My photo is just a picture of some poinsettias that I bought that day while I was out and about, and my journaling is just very simple. What I'm doing now, I started off embossing here, so I stamped this on the photo and then gold embossed these stars, and it's super messy. And then I also used this tag from In a Creative Bubble, and then I went ahead and put it on a scrap piece of page protector that I cut down. So I'll show you where that came from later, but I stapled it on here just so that it's suspended on that instead of floating around in the pocket. So for day two, I used another one of the printables from Geraldine Sy. This time I printed it on vellum, and I really like journaling on vellum and then layering it over a piece of patterned paper or journaling card or something. That way you still get the pattern, but you also have a great place to journal, where otherwise would just be too busy. So it's very difficult to see here, but I took a picture of my son and then made it black and white because it was just lit horribly and his clothes were weird colors. Here I used some white alpha stickers from Studio Calico, and I just spelled out Criffif tree, so that's the way he is saying Christmas tree, and I just phonetically put that here. So I may go back and change it because it's just so difficult to see. These are the white stickers that I used from, I think, the Young at Heart kit from Studio Calico. And I really like having that in the album, and I'll include that as the month goes on, just like writing down phonetically the things that he says, because it's so cute, you know, how silly they are. On day three, just really the first 4 pages in my album are all about my son's birthday party that I was decorating for, so I was doing that and then doing December daily like when I had a free moment. So things are relatively simple in here, and that's really the way I want to keep the album. I don't want to go crazy with techniques or anything. But on day 3, I just took one photo of some of the decorations I had put up and layered a phrase sticker over one of the printables for In a Creative Bubble. I gold embossed the star from Studio Calico. And then on this card, it's basically just 2 words repeated, clean and decorate. And I used them in 2 different color inks. They're from Illustrated Faith. And then I used the Clearly Kelly small alphabet stamps. And then on top of that, I put the red number 3 from last year's December daily, and then I heat embossed in white some of the holly leaves from Pam Garrison's stamp set that came in her kit. So because that was so much going on up there, I wanted to keep the bottom card here really, really simple. So I think this is from the Paislee Press kit. I adhered another one of these stars. And then I realized the next day that there wasn't really much to this, like there were no words. So then I went back and I put this journal card behind it. So this is a 6x8 piece of paper from one of the Pam Garrison papers. I cut it in half, and then I took this star stamp, it's this one right here from Kelly Perky, and I just gold embossed that along the edge to kind of give it a little more interest, drew some lines throughout my journaling, and then put a little tab on the top up here just to note that you can pull it out. Now on the back, you'll notice that this is a three spot page protector, and then I have a 6x8 photo, a full 6x8 photo on the back. And so what I did was just adhere to the page protectors with my rolling adhesive, and that's how I accomplished that. So I want to talk about this photo for a minute and printing. So this was printed at my Target, just using their online. I think I just like printed it to the store. The color temperature printed way warmer than the actual photo. This was taken outside, so it was really good lighting, and it looks just way more yellow in the photo than it does on my camera. Another thing is this paper is so thin. It's just so thin. It's Kodak Extra Life 2 paper, but it's really thin. And the paper, my 6x8 photos I had printed at a different Target last year in the Kodak kiosk. So, and I think this was printed differently, but I'm just not happy with the quality at all. Then I decided that in some of this like blank space in the photo, I wanted to stamp or write something, so I decided to heat emboss. And I don't know if you can see, like I burned the photo, and then the printer paper ink kind of warped and is coming off of the back. So I do not recommend heat embossing on photos that you get printed at Target. Another thing I did was use another one of these labels from In a Creative Bubble, just wrote some journaling on there, and then use this school star from the Paislee press kit. So you'll see there's pretty much a star on every page in this album. That is the recurring embellishment. So obviously I need to reprint this, but I'm not ready to do it now. So it's going to live in here like this for a bit. Next I have a half page. So this was originally 4 3x4s, and this is where this offcut here that would go here is where I got the extra page here to go ahead and like keep that guy in the pocket. So that's where that came from. So this is just talking about my son's birthday party. I have a little flip up here. I used one of the messy circle stamps and then heat embossed it and then cut it out and added it onto this card. I don't love the way that that looks. I might redo that, but for now it's just going to stay there. So I have the photo flip up and then my journaling underneath here. I'm using one of the Office Depot brand tags here just to note that it is a half page. So just some more photos on this side, and then I went ahead and tiny attached this paper clip here because there was some negative space or whatever, blank space in this photo. So I just wanted to kind of fill that up, and I used some phrase stickers from Ali Edwards' fall release over here, and I'm reaching over to try and find them. So I just pulled out like the Christmassy colors that I thought would go in my December daily, and so I've been using them periodically just as little embellishments. And then just kind of silly to use the phrase stickers to indicate the best time is with you. So that's kind of like the way that I journal in December daily. And then I use this card from Paislee Press, and there's this like blank white space up at the top, and I think that's maybe for a photo. I didn't have a photo that I wanted to put in there because I'm going to document this elsewhere in my family album, but I just used some washi tape that I picked up from the dollar spot to fill in that space. I was wearing a gingham shirt, and you can see over, or a buffalo plaid shirt over in this photo, and wanted to echo that here. And then I think this cork number is from an old Studio Calico kit. For day 5, it got kind of really hard for me to do this week. So the week starting with the 5th, my husband was not really home. He was working around the clock, and so we didn't really have a story for this day, but maybe the week before my husband shared this hilarious YouTube video called Christmas According to Kids. And I wanted to document that in here, and it's so funny. I want to share it with you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and link it. So maybe when you're done watching this video, go check it out. But I took this label from the Ali Edwards main December Daily Kit last year, and then just wrote out my favorite quote from that video, and then stuck it here with a 5 from a crepe paper thicker pack. And then this is from Illustrated Faith, This Ornament, Come Let Us Adore Him. So day 6, I think her name is Jess Robin. She's in the Illustrated Faith community. She uses paint chips a lot in this mini book that she's working on for her daughter. So I thought it would be really fun. I've kind of had a stash of them, and so I pulled out the ones that I thought I could use for December Daily, and this green went really well. So I took some of the screens from last year and some gold paint, and then just kind of embellished the paint card. I cut it down and went ahead and put one of these numbers on the top, and then on the back I used some washi tape from A Beautiful Mess just to kind of journal what we did this day. So this day was all about taking my son to the airport to go watch the planes take off, which is something that he likes to do, and so it was fun to get out of the house. And so Again, another day where my husband is not here. I definitely wanted to use this transparency from the Paislee Press mini kit that says Find Joy in All Things. So it was kind of a crummy week, and but you know, just doing these little things that I know he loves just made it a little easier to get through the week. And then day 7, I didn't love this originally, and I still don't know how I feel about it, but it was kind of like a what everyone's view was today. So my husband sent me a picture of the job site that he was working at. I take a picture of a Bible journaling entry that I did for something coming to my YouTube channel later. And then I included a full 6x8 photo here of my son's nativity set that he has for the first time this year. So I thought it was really cool too, and I did this page obviously before I did this page. And so I knew that I wanted to keep this white space up in the top right corner. Normally I would have included all of this over here, but I do really like the way that it came out. So I just put down some washi tape to kind of anchor this gold star. I use those white stickers again from Studio Calico to spell out Nativity Love, and now I'm seeing it's a little crooked, but I don't care. And then I just did my journaling here on this page. And so I printed this photo at a CVS. It was really easy to use their system online. The photo paper is just as thin as the one from Target, and I did not try to heat emboss on this one. I did write on it with a Sharpie marker, and I'm noticing now that that is kind of like running a little bit or smearing a little bit. But this, again, is a Kodak Extra Life 2 paper. Okay, so it's the exact same paper. It actually feels even thinner than the other one for some reason, but Target and CVS, we'll see if I try anywhere else to print 6x8 photos. My preference is persnickety prints. They're just the best at 6x8 photo quality, but I don't want to wait that long to get my 6x8 prints. So, and I want to be able to share on here pretty regularly. So I'll go ahead and let you know what I found that's best once I find it. For day 8, we went to the beach, another just little day trip to kind of get my son out of the house and to cheer him up a little bit. This camera is from an old Allie Edwards story kit. I think it's the photos one, and wanted to include it here. I thought it would be fun in the lens to put an actual photo, but I just decided to go ahead and use it. I needed another 4x6, so I put the number 8 in here and attached a gold star on top. This one was pretty difficult for me to do because it's not very Christmassy. Beach photos to me are not Christmassy, and we do not have a white Christmas down here. So I put some red paper in. Originally I was going with lighter colors like the light greens and the light blues from the Paislee Press kit, and there just wasn't enough contrast for me. So it took me a while to figure this out, but I do like the way that it came out. Again, I heat embossed with some gold glitter embossing powder on the journal card just to dress it up a little bit. This chipboard circle is adhered to the outside of the page protector, and that's from the Me Story kit from Allie Edwards. And then I just included our parking pass or parking receipt over here with a red and white paper clip to make it seem a little more festive. And then day 9, the last day, I had my husband send me another couple of photos, and so this photo is of his job site. He's working on a movie theater down in Miami, and so he likes to do like before and after shots, but he doesn't really have a place to put them, so I thought this would be the perfect place to kind of document the ending of this job. So this is a photo in November where there's just a bunch of construction stuff here, and then it's relatively clean in the photo that he sent me today. So I thought it was a cool before and after. On this side, I just kind of journaled about, you know, his work, and then just used some of my favorite cards from the different kits to get this day completed. I again used those white stickers from Studio Calico, and then another embellishment, a wood embellishment, is kind of a nod to my husband. That's his trade. And then I used the cheer chipboard piece from Pam Garrison's kit. And then this card is from the Jasmine Jones mini kit from last year, Filled with Joy. We are just so filled with joy to have him home and back with us. So that's pretty much it. I have an idea of what's going to happen on the 10th. We're going to go to a party for my husband's work, so I knew I wanted to keep this garland in here, and that's pretty much it. I'm looking forward to doing more Christmassy things, and the month goes on, and I will be sharing my next week of photos on this channel, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.